Hello everybody, this is Loki and welcome back to Phoenix Wright. So we're continuing from where we last left off with the trial. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it's been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply don't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. Yeah, it does. But I don't think Maya would, get rid of anybody. Family or not, she would never do such a thing. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. If you please. Okay, time to see the false stuff that you put here. See. There we go. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Till now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contained quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong with my testimony? According to you, Maya Faye stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. Something about this seems a little off. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris? It appears another seed of doubt has spreaded from your testimony. What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? It's simple. People are like butts. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift? That's true. People have a front and a back just like a butt does. Is that all you have to say? But wait, there's more. I could also say that the darkness lived to play with the human mind. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is too much of the testimony just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't add up, to be honest. It really doesn't. Throwing away such a useful staff to people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There's certainly some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, if you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness of coffee, but to pick out each one requires a total concentration and the use of all senses. Are you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Goto, explain yourself. The witness was quite ambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light. By the way, did you know Hazakura has a role on the nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training? The stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, that's true. Shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to be nearly pitch black in the garden that night. It could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, that illuminating fact that has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would have been difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demon that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? I like how he still calls him Trite. It's hilarious how he still calls him that. Order, order, order! Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe I'll rekindle that flame of truth in your mind. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood. Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Well, he knows now. Unfortunately, he knows. Written in blood? It says Maya upside down. What the? Oh yes, that's right. That guy did not, Godo does not see red. That's why he said, I can't see some things. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. It certainly looked that way.
Objection.
Hang on just a minute. What are y'all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern is clean as a whistle. There's one thing I'm curious about. About Godo. How is his mask still on his face like that? Unless there's like a hidden string or hidden something that's holding it in place. Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that. So if you put like a red crayon in front of him, he won't see that either. Or if I got one of my little, like, baby 3 dolls here, just red, he probably won't see the red part of it either. And in any case, this awfully important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godo, anything further? Mr. Godo? Okay then. Let's move on. They had to, like, give him a minute. He'll be fine. Godo is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I think his body is, like, used to all that caffeine by now. Since he drinks so much of it. I don't think I would have been able to handle it at all. I believe it now has been established that Miss Elise was killed by Maya Fey. That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. Just now we have to, like, listen on what she has to say. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple myself. I dragged it behind me, all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple. I used the sword to alter the way the wound looked. I had to say sword because I don't know how to pronounce that specific word for it. So if anyone here knows, feel free to tell me in the comments below how to pronounce it. So you moved the body? Yes. I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal thanks to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise was actually Misty Fae. I committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I can't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Alright, let's see what we have here. Shall we? After Mr. Glaze died... Let's see about the fifth statement. 3, 4, 5. I'll have to press. The snowmobile. I knew that would somehow show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? To ask about the tracks here. If you really did move her body by a snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are those the tracks from the ride? Yes, I think they are. But I only could see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about it. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see. Snow was still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? It's important? When the murder took place, does know how already stopped? That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I like that statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? It will all be made clearer if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Huh. This should be fun. You. Let's get this notebook to clear up, shall we? Yes, sir. It's only one reason I can think of. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is. You claimed that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris, but that just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 15 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? Order, order, order! The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed that bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Old... Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Squat? The important thing is now is to find out the truth, isn't that right? Yes, of course, but... First, the body of Liz was discovered in the Hazakurt temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris removing the sword from Elise's body. He makes a good point on both accounts. That's right. I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. You have stood at the witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
Objection.
It is only human error. If you're so perfect, right, maybe you can explain this for the court? What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burned down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you could have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick? Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnout bridge. But unless I could somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. He has a point there. Does have a point. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You admitted you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Alright, we're gonna do this a different day. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it here for now. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like button below. And subscribe for more videos to come. See you guys later. Bye guys.